Social Security was one of the things that killed my mother in 2001. I'm Darren Monroe. I'm former campaign worker for Kamala Harris, and I have 30 years marketing branding experiences. You can see here for some of the biggest companies like Universal, DreamWorks, MCA, and a lot of other companies. This is going to be a personal one. I don't talk about this often, but my mother was stressed out about a job she had. She left. They were stressing her, and she had one of those clogged arteries. And while I was working on a project for Def Jam, a day later, I was eating at home, and my sister called and said, "Where are you?" I'm like, "Silly person, you calling my house? Of course I'm at home." It was a landline. And she said the ambulance couldn't revive her, and she died right there at her apartment. And my sister and I rushed over there, and there she was. She was 67 years old. What Social Security did was deny her of her claim. Now, this is a lady who clearly, if you saw her, you would know. She's 67 years old. She's not even 65. She took her time trying to get this done. And when she ended up, it wasn't that she took her time. She kept getting denied claims. And they were giving her a hard time. And she kept getting nervous about it, didn't know what to do. At that point, she didn't, it wasn't known widely that you can go to lawyers and fight, and they'll fight with you and all that stuff. And she was just so overwhelmed by it that it got her. And I remember for years, she kept saying that she was going to be okay because she got her Social Security. And that was back in 2001, Bush era. Can you imagine what people are going through now in the Trump era? I take it very personally as far as Social Security. I have a group called the Moneymakers Group. There's a link there. I'm still trying to upload a video to tell you more about the group so you can make money online. It's just basically monetizing your opinion. You use a phone like this or a laptop or computer with a camera, and you just share your thoughts, your day, your beliefs, your information, your talent, skills, knowledge, experience, without being fancy, any fancy lighting or nothing. Just be a real human being. People have built audiences anywhere from hundreds to thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions, and been able to monetize their message, what they do. Maybe it was knitting, maybe it was how to play chess, or how to, have a better relationship, or how to raise a child. I mean, all of that information people are into now, especially in my last 20 years working this, a lot of people from nowhere have done it. I've seen even quadriplegics pull this off. People in their 80s pull it off. Your background doesn't even matter. But we didn't have that back in the day. My mother would have loved to done that in 2001. She would have loved it. And she was always a lifelong learner and a teacher, and just really, great lady. And what I want to share with all of you is this: the idea that you could change things, liberals, and turn this into an opportunity. I have the Clarity Group to keep you clear and feel better about what you're going through. It's not a political discussion. It is a way. It's personal development for people who are stressed out through politics. But the Moneymaker Group is designed to help people really be able to monetize what's already in your head. You either walk in libraries or walk in bookstores. The difference is the bookstores get paid. The libraries do not. The other thing is that, I began to look at, over the last 20 years, the people who are able to do it. And that's the ones who stick their head down and grind. They don't have to have a lot of talent. They're not the best looking. They're not the smartest. They're not the brightest at all. They're just the ones who stick their heads down and grind and do the work. And it's worth it. And for 20 years, I've taught people how to brand and market themselves. Look up Darren Monroe testimonials. I've been recommended by Entrepreneur. I was a contributing writer for Forbes. I, work with some of the biggest companies in the world, and at the same time help some of the smallest businesses in the world across about 100,000 people across 100 plus countries. But now more than ever, it's important because we got liberals who are suffering, people in general who are suffering because of this Trump regime that's happening. And you can stress out over it, you can do something about it. And yeah, there is something you can do about it. Not everybody. I understand some of you may not be as operational, or maybe you have problems, but I mean, we got people in there who are fighting everything from recovering from stroke to people fighting cerebral palsy, as well as, people in their 70s down to all generations living right now, from Gen Z up to boomers. And the truth is that all it takes is effort. It's not make money overnight type shit. But the idea that you can pull an extra 1,000 to 3,000 within, say, 3-4 months is not a crazy thought. You can build an audience. People are doing that every day. I'm telling you, liberals, it is possible to monetize your message. And it don't have to be in politics. Like I said, it could be in anything. And what I want people to understand when I talk about moms is that she would have loved this. And I feel like her spirit's with me to do this. I got in this political part because I was working on Kamala's campaign. After 5 months, we had lost the election. Frankly, I think they stole it. And I talk about that in the Clarity Group all the time, and including tonight where we had a live for Kamala Harris's book, to do a Kamala Harris book club. We're doing every Thursday in the Clarity Group. And I told people, I said, listen, the biggest thing you have to understand out of all of this is that you do have options. Options on what you can do outside, options what you need to do in your home, which is the money maker, find extra ways for money and other strategies, and what options what to do in your head and heart and how to move like that. And not everybody understands that. They're too busy being mad at Trump, or too busy being mad at capitalism. And it's not capitalism, it's character. There's a lot of good people who are billionaires and millionaires who are doing investigations on Trump. I talk about that in the Clarity Group. I call it the 8 different investigations. And there's a lot of those billionaires and billionaires who put money into Kamala's campaign. And the reality is that you got to understand the bigger picture. This is an opportunity for you to grow, for you to become better people in this tough time. You can sit here and panic about everything, or you can look calmly and say, okay, where can I find the best thing out of this? The best thing to understand is that obviously he's losing. I keep saying that in this videos, but the reason I can do these videos is because of people who join the Clarity Group, and it's on sale right now. Both groups, the Moneymaker and the Clarity Group, are on sale. I mean, imagine hearing my voice in a very uncandid way about things. I talked about stuff tonight that I had to freeze the recording on and give you insight into about her book, how in between the lines we're going to be covering things in the Clarity Group, in the Moneymaker Group. I'm like, listen, y'all could really make a bag out of this. I've helped people around the world for the last 20 years do it, and they don't have a lot of talent. They don't have a lot of background. I'm 55. I don't expect to get my Social Security because the mismanagement of the Trump administration, along with the mismanagement of, in general, of the United States government and Congress, I don't expect to get it. And I'm just doing the best I can to make sure, especially over the next 29, 30 months, that I never have to worry about money ever again. I'm not some sort of weird, skeezy, cheesy salesperson or something. I'm just a real motherfucker who's been through a lot of shit. You been through some shit? You want to hear some real stuff from real people who cut through the shit and not play games with you, not do all that guru talk? Yes, join my Moneymakers. You want to hear some real shit about what's going on with Trump that's so badass and good good that's happening to him, and I say good as in good for us, bad for him, happening to him, that YouTube right here cuts off my shit and won't let me talk about it. That's how I got a Clarity group. I was like, damn. I tried to create one of them YouTube memberships. They kept limiting my content. I had to go elsewhere, off the grid, off in social media, in a private protected group. There's about 200 and something of us. It was a total of over 300, but I'm transferring over from another site on the Clarity group. In the Moneymakers group, it's a very small, intimate group. That's on sale too. It's supposed to be 3 times the price. In both groups, 3 times the price is going up, for real. I just wanted to share my story with you a little bit on what I think about Social Security. I think it's designed to hurt you. I think there's so many people who are on Social Security afraid they might lose it. And you're so busy like this, you don't have your hand open to realize what you can gain. You could gain your freedom and your own money and your own lifestyle. It's not overnight. Like I said, 1,000 to 3,000 inside of 3 to 4 months. What kind of work? What's the catch in the Moneymakers? The Moneymakers, the catch is that every day you're putting out a lot of content about shit you love to talk about, what you're passionate about. And you do that consistently, the algorithm, whether it be YouTube or IG, will reward you. Now, I'm very careful about TikTok because TikTok get ready to get taken over by the Trump administration, the Murdochs. I ain't even training people on that. But, you know, we're trying to play that out and seeing, you know, how it gets sold and what happens with it. But in the meanwhile, can you make a bag? Can you make some money on YouTube and IG in that time? Yeah. Can you turn that 1,000 to 3,000 into tens of thousands? Yes. In a year, not overnight, not make money overnight, but you can do it. I feel so sorry for all of the wonderful, talented liberals who are out there who may be villainizing capitalism when they need to be villainizing character. I feel so bad for those of you who are so afraid about what you might lose instead of looking at what you might gain based on being able to take another direction. You know, there's this old saying about, wow, you pray for better days and you pay for better crops, and then you complain why it rains. You know, everything's in all good. One of my mentors was Bob Proctor, and may he rest in peace, from The Secret. And I remember he told me back in 2010, he said, listen, the law of polarity, nothing's all good, nothing's all bad. What's the good part of Trump? It gives us a chance to look deeply on the left and see what the fuck is going on. But it also gives us a chance to look deeply at ourselves. Because if you stressed out about everything he's doing, why are you listening to him? Well, I got to hear it somehow. And my answer to that is no, you don't. You can walk into that with filtered eyes. What I mean is understand that he lies and BSs. I mean, here, as I'm recording this right now, he's trying to indict the former director of the FBI. How do you think that's going to turn out? It's going to be horrible for him because he doesn't have anything on this guy. But he's almost near death, Trump. And he figured this is his end game. I'm immune. I'm going to go after everybody. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And the worst part is the people who should know better just for their own personal safety not to follow him. Pam Bondi's going to jail. Steve Miller's going to jail. Tulsi Gabbard, Hegseth, Tom Homan's going to jail. Tom Homan ain't got no choice but to do what he say because he's caught in a federal investigation, federal agents. He took money from federal agents, and they made that disappear. Kash Patel, jail. Yes. And a whole bunch of ICE people. But when? Not during the Trump administration, of course. It's going to happen, though. I promise you. He can't have this forever. And no, he won't take the elections. And no, he will listen to the judges. But understand the bigger picture. What my mother made me realize is that things happen in cycles. Again, she was a teacher for 40 years. One of the first black board members here in Chicago. And she was brilliant. And one of the gifts she gave me was the ability, if you like my channel, to do critical thinking and critical thinking skills. That was mama. Don't depend on Social Security. Don't depend on maybe the Democrats getting back in office. That's bullshit too. You know, since working the campaign July of last year, I have learned some lessons. Our real Democrats are our governors, our 23 governors and attorney generals. Congress ain't shit. They work well independently, but they have zero leadership when it comes down to things. And there's a lot of them who have been turning in on us. Some who have been sticking up. I ain't gonna talk. Jasmine Crockett's been doing great. AOC's been doing great. Garcia, the new guy over the Oversight Committee, has been doing great. There's a lot of good people who are trying hard, but some just don't know better. They make mistakes. And we're talking about critical mistakes at a time when you can't make critical mistakes. You can't bring gloves to a gunfight. The days of civility are over. Gerrymander your ass off. Shut this government down. Nobody wants to see people, good people, lose their jobs, but as many members of our Clarity Group have said, listen, there's too much on the line. People's lives. If they don't get this Medicaid, Medicare stuff back, people are gonna die, man. I mean, just really. And this shutdown also shuts down ICE. But while all of that stuff's happening out there and you're trying to reach your Congress, and you're trying to join Indivisible and ACLU, which is another group of people who've been helping, the nonprofits, the NAACP, definitely join and follow them. And then the third group has been the lower court judges themselves who've been fighting with us. While you're going through all that, while you're moving through all that, while you're doing everything you can with all that, understand this. There's only so much you can do outside of that. See, I believe in this, and this is not Christ or the Stations of the Cross. I'm talking about quadrants. The top quadrants are what you control and what your priorities are. The ones are what you don't control and what your lowest priority is. Too often we're looking at low priorities or things we don't control and stress out over them when we need to be handling these top quadrants. The first thing you need to take care of, and this is what I say in the Clarity Group, is you. What are you ingesting? How are you feeling? What is your vibe? You got to check that shit and be able to get toxic people out of your life. If you don't, you will stress out. Just like my mom did. It cost her life. Don't let it cost yours. Get in the Clarity Group at the very least. But if you're trying to get some money, get in the Clarity and the Moneymaker Group, because I got both on sale. They're going to triple in price. Real talk. And I'm doing live coaching on both. I love you all. Thank you for listening to my story about my mom. And for those of you sick in the head, no, I'm not trying to pimp my mom's death to get you in my groups. Get the fuck out of here. There's some real fucked up people out there who will say some shit like that. God bless you. I think it's just important you realize that there are real people who have gone through real things. And understand the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, as much as I tell you about the 30 years marketing, branding, and all that stuff, I don't talk enough about the time I was, and as of next week, October, the first couple of days in October, I was sleeping in my car in 2002. 23 years ago, true story. I just lost a job out of Universal and didn't have anywhere to go for a little bit. It's okay. You see my views up here? I'm 30-something flights up downtown Chicago now. God is beautiful. I started my business online from a FEMA paid-for hotel right away from Hurricane Katrina. The Chicago guy didn't know nothing about hurricanes in New Orleans. But I certainly found out. I'm trying to tell you, everybody's going through something. And one of the greatest things I think that Trump has done is take a bunch of people who many times are like this, whether it be in the country and even internationally, the country, the state, the county, parishes, and cities, and every time he attacks them, he creates this unity. That's why I keep saying throughout YouTube, hey, Trump going to this city is a blessing. ICE raids and troops are a blessing. You know, him going after Comey, the former FBI director, is a blessing. It just pulls us more together. But if you're dependent on Social Security, remember how I started this video. That's not good. Don't trust them. Don't trust them. Hey, at the very least, did I earn your subscription? If so, thank you. And at the same time, follow my next video coming in. But I definitely want to tell you, get in my groups. Get in my groups while they're available, okay? It's open right now, and it's a third of the price in the Clarity group and in the Moneymakers group. The link is in the description, or the link is on the homepage of this channel. Thank you for listening. God bless you all. And check out the next video.